Hello, yes, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. It is time for the long-awaited update on the 2021 Speed Stick. Strap in. Yes, hello, it is Joe for Joyrider TV here. And yes, we have been running throughout the year a global speed competition for catamarans and other small boats. There's still time to get involved. If you're not yet involved on the Speed Stick, all you need to do is go sailing, take with you some sort of GPS device. If you're stuck for a GPS device, an easy one is a telephone in a dry bag running an app such as STRAVA. And then once you've had your session, see what the top speed was, send the results to me. All the information is in the description below of what you need to do. And yes, you could get on the global Speed Stick. It's a great way of recording your best results. So today we're just going to go through the leaderboard, and I'm not going to read out every single result. I'm going to be reading out all of the either new entries or anybody who has bettered their previous result. So it's not like you send in your speed and that's you done. Send in your speed, go out sailing again, beat your own speed, and then send me the new result. And yes, you will move up the leaderboard. Very exciting times. Okay, so let's jump in and take a look at the 2021 Global Speed Stick leaderboard. Okay, so yes, currently on the leaderboard, we're just short of 100 entries. We're starting off today in 96th position, where we have Dirk Ruman sailing a laser standard, answering the question, can you get on the leaderboard on a monohull? The answer is yes. But can you beat the catamarans? The answer is yeah, he was sailing in Fusent in Cap Cos, France, with a speed of 11.9 knots, cooking the goose on the laser there. Then up to 93rd, we had William and Matteo on a Minicat F1, sailing again in France, in Montpellier, with a speed of 12.6 knots. Then just notched up a little bit from there, in 92nd, we have Danielle sailing a laser, another laser, yes, in Lake Bracciano, Italy, speed of 12.7. Then Daniel is also entered on a Hobie 14 in 91st position. Again, same location, Lake Bracciano, Italy, with a speed of 13.26 knots. Oh, yes. Then in 90th position, we have Barney sailing a laser radial, another laser on the Speed Stick, right here in Vasiliki, Lefkas, Greece, with a speed of 13.4 knots. And then next on the leaderboard, back to Lake Bracciano, Italy, we've got Danielle again. He's been getting out on as many different boats as he can and getting on the stick. This is Danielle sailing an Aclass. I believe this was a lowrider classic, 14.4 knots. And then also, you're not going to believe this, in 84th, we've also got Danielle, this time sailing a Hobie Tiger single-handed, also with a speed of 14.4 knots. Very consistent there, Danielle. So now notching it up to 80th position on the leaderboard, sailing a Hobie 16 on Ammersee, Germany, we have Hanno and Michael with a speed of 15 knots. Very respectable there, guys. Just keep at it. If it's not too cold, get out there, keep at it and notch it up. That's what we want to see. Then in 73rd position, we're heading over to South Wales, to Barry, where we had Hugh and Andy sailing a Dart 18 with a speed of 16.2 knots. Fantastic stuff there, guys. Well done. In 70th position, we've got Jack and Brett sailing a Hobie 16 in Deal, New Jersey, USA. Speed 16.76 knots. Yes. And then, yes, we are going back to Lake Bracciano, Italy, where Danielle managed to recruit a crew called Karim on the Hobie Tiger with a speed of 16.8 knots. Great stuff. Danielle has gone a little bit quiet since, so we'd like to hear more from him. Then in 68th position, we've got Zach Stevens sailing a Hobie 18 SX solo in Thunder Bay, Michigan, USA with a speed of 16.8 knots. Cooking the goose. Oh yes. Then in 67th position, and just in this week, sailing on Lake Eisenhower, California, USA, we've got Shane and Jim on a Hobie 16 with a speed of 16.9 knots. 63rd position, we're going 3 up with Glenn, Christy and Bobby on a Prindle 18 on Lake Del Valle, California with a speed of 17.2 knots. Now that you could call the fun bus. 3 up at speed. Nice. Then we're going down to Maputo, Mozambique, notching it up for Damien and Dimitri on the Hobie Pearl with a speed of 17.32. Oh yes, nice stuff. Then in 59th, we've got Matt and John sailing a Hobie Tiger in Guernsey, which is in the Channel Islands, with a speed of 17.4 knots. Very nice. There's a lot of cat sailing that goes on in the Channel Islands, so we'd definitely like to hear more from you guys, especially on the speed stick, or maybe even show us your cat. I don't think we've been down there yet. Notching it up in 56th, again 3 up, another fun bus with Steve, Jack and Adolfo on a Hobie 16 sailing in Monterey, California, USA with a speed of 17.5. Nice. Incidentally, there are currently 3 boats tied at 17.5. Time to add the decimal place. All right, 54th, we've got Arno sailing a Hobie 16 solo on Lake Wabamun, Alberta, Canada, with a speed of 17.9 knots. Also on 17.9 knots, sailing in Philly Bay in the UK, we've got Giles and William on the Hobie 16, previously featured in Show Us Your Cat. Very nice too. Then in 52nd position, we've got Bill Clark sailing solo in Point Harbor, North Carolina, USA. Another, this is 3 in a row on 17.9. Then in 49th, we've got Charlie and Franklin sailing a Hobie 16 in Kittery, Maine, USA with a speed of 18.25. Yes, we've broken through the 18 knot barrier. Did you hear the sonic boom? Anyway, in 44th position, we've got Oliver sailing a Hobie 17 on Plonasee, Germany. That's a Hobie 17, first Hobie 17 we've had on the stick this year, with a speed of 18.46. Boom. Then in 42nd, we've got Glenn and Matthew on a Prindle 18 sailing on Lake Tahoe, California, USA with a speed of 18.5. And then we are cooking now because we're going solo on a 16 with Paul sailing in Marina de Chute, Italy with a speed of 18.52. Now I'd say solo on a 16, anything above 18 knots is absolutely cracking it off. Very nice indeed. Some good speed there. So in 39th, we've got Zach and Don sailing a Hobie 18 SX in Thunder Bay, Michigan, USA, with a speed of 18.6. Now this is a little bit of a coincidence, but also 18.6 knots, Thunder Bay, Michigan, Hobie 18 SX for Amy and Greg. That is just plain spooky. Two same speeds, same venue, same boat. There must be a speed restriction at Thunder Bay, Michigan, is there? Or would somebody like to notch it up? Okay, and then we are heading back one last time to Lake Bracciano, Italy, where we have Danielle and Luca sailing a Hobie Tiger with a speed of 18.7. Really, I made a bit of a mistake here. I should have taken Danielle's previous double-handed Tiger result off, but I didn't. But this time he's getting 18.7 knots. Very nice. So if you are sailing with multiple crews, it would just be the fastest crew who stays on the stick. Unfortunately for the slower crews, that's how it should work. But sometimes the administration department get it wrong. So we're now squeezing up to 35th, and we've got Ed Owens sailing solo on a Hobie 16 in Williamsburg, Virginia, USA, with a speed of 18.85 knots. Great stuff. Now, as we said, that is quick solo, but there's more fast solo speeds to come. The next one is from David Isaac, who is sailing in Salish Sea, Vancouver, Canada. Again, solo on the 16 with a speed of 18.94 knots. So close to that 19. Must have been bittersweet to be so quick, but so close to even quicker. Oh yes. But now we are going into the top 30. Yes, we are. In 29th, we've got Attila and Laszlo on an 18 Magnum. That's the bad boy with wings. In Lake Balaton, Hungary, with a speed of 19.22 knots. Now, I heard it's not so windy on Lake Balaton so often, so that is called checking the forecast and strapping in. Then in 28th, we've got Timon sailing on a Hobie FX1 in Grommitz, Germany, with a speed of 19.37. Great stuff. And we've got Mark and Kirsten sailing a Hobie 18 SX on J. Percy Priest Reservoir, Nashville, Tennessee, USA. Now that's quite a long name for a venue, with a speed of 19.4 knots. Absolutely great stuff there, guys. Well done. And then in 23rd position, we've got Fulvio sailing a Hobie 16 solo in Doha, Qatar, with a speed of 19.5 knots. Then one higher in 22nd, we've got Sven and Dave sailing a Hobie 18 SE in the US Virgin Islands in St. Thomas with a speed of 19.76. Show us your cat, please. We want to go to the Virgin Islands, that's for sure. Then in 21st position, we've got Barn and Stein sailing a Nacra 5.7 coming from the Cat Club Zeeland in Holland with a speed of 19.98. Again, so close to that milestone. If you hit the milestone, get above 20 knots. We want to know on the speed stick. Then in 19th position, we've got Jerome and Thomas sailing a Hobie 16 in Lagangis. Probably bad pronunciation, apologies. France with a speed of 20.3. We are absolutely smoking it now. 16 knots for Scott on the Hobie 16 solo in Cultus Lake, Oregon, USA, dropping it in the slot with 20.59 knots. Now going that quick single-handed on a 16 is absolutely ballistic. And that is the top Hobie 16 single-handed speed on the speed stick at that time. If you want to take on Scott, you know what you have to do. Wait for the big forecast, get out solo on your 16, perhaps loosen the rig tension off a little bit and absolutely send it. Maybe service the rudders before you go. Maybe have a big breakfast. That's going to help. All right, so here we go. We are entering into the top 10. Again, in case anybody's wondering at this stage in the game, where was my mention? I'm only reading out the ones who are either new entries or if you've gone up on the stick. So in 9th position, and this is a new entry for Jonathan and Troy, sailing a Hobie 16 in Lake McConaughey, Nebraska, USA, with a speed of 21.6 geese cooked in Nebraska. 7th position, we have Mans and Amanda sailing a Hobie 16 in Vasiliki, Lefkas, Vasiliki Bay, right here. Now, I don't put so many speeds on the leaderboard that came in from Vasiliki Bay because it would mean that the leaderboard would have a whole lot of Vasiliki Bay on there. But next year, we are starting the Joyrider World Series, where every club or venue for cat sailing around the world can start putting up their speed stick, which you could have done before really, but let's make it official. I'll send you some gear, some flags, and put up your speed stick and have a little friendly competition in-house there. That's what you can do. So in 5th position, we've got Steve and Jeremy sailing an Inter 20 on Graffham Water in the UK with a speed of 22.8. Now that is jolly rapid. Oh yes. In 4th position, we've got Judah and Isaac sailing a Prindle 18 in Deal, New Jersey, USA with a speed, now get this, this has got to be the quickest Prindle 18 out there, 23.43 knots. That is absolutely motoring. Great job there, guys. I am very impressed indeed. Now we're going into 2nd place, and I've heard in Texas everything is bigger, louder, faster, and on this occasion it certainly is, because we're banging it in at Galveston Bay, Texas with a speed of 25.1, sailing a Prindle 18.2 single-handed. We've got Scott Toomer. Now we know that Scott is a very, very fast sailor. He won the first global speed stick competition, and now here he is smashing 25 knots single-handed. This is absolutely incredible. This speed stick is revealing what it is possible to achieve on a catamaran if perhaps you're out at the right time with the right wind, with the right amount of skills, with the right setup boat, with the right sea state, with the right frame of mind. You can do it with all of those things. But Scott didn't quite get the top spot this time. The top spot at the moment, and I think this is here to stay. This is Guy and Steve sailing a Hobie 16 in Cairns, Queensland, Australia. Now we knew some of the Aussies are a little bit crazy, but these guys, this really is absolutely exceptional. They hit 27.6 knots. Now, if you're like me, you'll be like, 27.6 knots? Are you kidding? But I asked Guy, I said, Guy, are you sure? That seems awfully quick. And he said, yeah, I'm sure. He was sailing with 2 different GPS devices at the time. He said it was going down a very large wave, which is certainly going to make the boat go a bit quicker. But a tip of the hat to what possibly is the fastest ever Hobie 16 speed in the history of man. Well done, Guy and Steve. Great stuff. And well done to everybody who's been getting out there sending it. Everybody should be having their own personal speed stick competition with themselves. What I do personally is I've set a benchmark of what is quick for me, and whenever I go out sailing, if I beat that benchmark, I record the results, I record how heavy the team was and which boat it was on, and of course the speed. So you keep your own competition going as well for everything above a certain benchmark. So if your top speed is 15 knots, then perhaps you should be recording it just on a paper or on a spreadsheet every time you go above 14 knots, just so you can see how your consistency is improving. Once again, thanks very much to everybody who's been getting involved. We've still got 2 months left for this speed stick to run. So if you're not yet on the speed stick, or you've got more work to do out there on the water, get involved, get on the speed stick, and I'll see you soon on Joyrider TV with some more. Thank you very much.